Welcome to Center Stage. My name is Mark Gordon. From writer-director Asiel Norton comes Redland, a story about the eternal laws of survival and existence and how one act can begin the dissolution as well as rebirth of a family. As your first film, what did you learn about the process?
Man, I learned a lot. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing, you know? And Magdalena, who wrote the script with me, Magdalena Zizak, and she produced it, neither of us knew what the hell we were doing. So we learned a lot. We were just like making it up as we were going along. The idea came to me. I had an image in my head of a man with a hat, and the brim of his hat was shading his face, so I couldn't see his facial features. And he was firing a rifle. And I thought, okay, what is this image? You know, and then I started thinking about trying to understand what's going on in this image. And I was thinking, what's going on? What's going on? And I thought, okay, he's hungry. He's firing his rifle because he's trying to feed his family. So who's his family? You know, and then we go backwards. And then Magdalena co-wrote the script with me. She's Polish. And we're both very much interested in Eastern European literature. And in Eastern European literature and art, there's an archetype of a holy fool. And a holy fool is sort of like a person who's kind of retarded or slow or just different, who has a sort of a connection to God. And so we thought, okay, it would be interesting if the daughter's a holy fool. And so started to build the film around that relationship, you know. Generally, when I was in film school, I was very, very strict. I storyboarded everything out. Everything I had, sort of like the Hitchcockian school of filmmaking, where like Alfred Hitchcock, like, you know, it's done before you even shoot it. I mean, everything is down on paper. You have every shot exactly set up, the way it's going to be, completely storyboarded and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I did it in film school. But when I went to Redland, I did a more fluid. I kind of went to more like Robert Altman, Fellini, or whatever type style of directing, where was made directing itself, I think, more creative rather than it just being almost set before we shot, you know. So also reacting more with the people that were the crew and the actors and stuff, and letting a lot more feedback and doing something that Robert Altman always talked about. Filming is like you're trying to capture the lightning, like the happy accident, you know? And so that's what I was often doing, you know?
So when you're shooting, were you actually then, it sounds in some ways, you're actually creating the script and creating the film as you went along.
I was doing both, you know? We definitely had a script, and we stuck solidly to the script, but I would try to be as creative as possible on set as well. You know, I would try to react to the environment. Definitely, we had script, and the actors were reading from the script. But we did do some improv. Now I would do stuff where I would sort of improv as well, like where they would be in front of the camera. And I'll give you a story. One time we were driving to set, you know, and I see like this great-looking tree, this huge, massive tree that's like hollowed out. And I said, pull over the car, like we're going to shoot this other scene, you know. Everybody get out of the car, you know. So, or out of the cars, because there's like, you know, a few cars or whatever, you know. And I got the actors in front of the tree, and then I told one actor to say, "What's your favorite flower?" And they said, hey Joe, what's your favorite flower? And I would tell the actor, say this, say this, say this. And they would also improv some themselves, and I would be shouting out what them to say. So I'd do some stuff like that, you know, just sort of like free form. But also we stuck pretty tight to the script as well. I would definitely make sure that you have the script there to save your ass, you know, because you don't want to get up there and have nothing. So the script is there to save your ass. And if you're making sure, if you're on schedule, and you create freedom to start playing around, you can get a lot of great stuff by playing around and shooting stuff. And maybe it'll end up in the film, maybe it won't, but you're just always being creative, always looking for stuff that you can add in that can just add a little texture, add a little juice, you know?
What do you think was the hardest part about making this movie?
Well, like I said, everything was pretty hard because it was very enjoyable, actually, but it was hard. I think we didn't have a lot of money, you know? So you're trying to do something that we shot 35 millimeter, and that nobody does, especially on our budget. We had like very little money, way beneath like $1 million, you know. And so nobody shoot. And then also I wanted time, you know, because I think time is the most, you know, important thing that you have as a filmmaker. You need time to make things right. But so it was difficult to get as much time as we needed to shoot, get as much time to also edit all that kind of stuff, and make it look good. Don't make it look like a low budget indie. Make it look like a good movie, and so you're not making excuses. Oh, if we had the money. Oh, if we had the money. Make something that's a solid work on its own. That was tough. That was definitely tough, and that takes a lot of hands-on work, you know. And I think you can do that, but the thing is, when you do that, it takes more time because you're doing a lot more yourself, because you can't afford to pay people to go do stuff. You have to do it yourself, and you only have so many hands and so much, you know, waking hours, that kind of stuff. So it just makes the process go a lot longer, for sure.
Well, we were talking before the interview about Peter Greenaway, and
Yeah.
you student of his work, and he talks about the tyranny of the text and creating an imagistic cinema.
Yeah.
And in some ways, that's what you've done with this film.
Definitely, I definitely see film primarily as a visual medium, and definitely I was attacking the story, attacking everything to create what I would call pure cinema, or and pure cinema is basically a film. Cinema that reveals itself visually, and sonically. I wanted it to be a sound experience and a visual experience for sure. Yeah, I think that images, basically, an image can never fully be defined or explained. Basic example. Let's say you have a photo of somebody shooting somebody, or an image or a rolling film of somebody shooting somebody. You'll never know exactly why. You can build up the history of what the motives were, but you'll never know exactly what's in a person's mind when they're doing it, or why they did it, or whatever. You can never fully understand. You can never fully define an image. So I think no matter what, even if you're discussing stuff, even what I could talk about what I attempted with the film and what I was trying to do in the film, but the film itself is a mystery. And and other people, when you watch it, you'll see different things in it that I never even attempted to do, which are definitely just as valid as what I was trying to do and stuff like that,
Well, isn't it also, too, that we're influenced by what's happening in our own life, whatever might even happen on the way to the theater.
Yeah, exactly.
That has an impact on what we're going to see.
Exactly, yeah, I think so. And I think that a great work of art, beyond a film, any kind of work of art, has layer upon layer upon layer. And as a filmmaker or an artist, you're getting to a certain level of what you're attempting to do, but it's beyond what you're attempting to do. It's like Carl Jung. I like to read a lot of Carl Jung, and he talks about symbols. And basically, within symbols, there's just a myriad. The farther you go, the deeper they go. The deeper they go. The deeper they go. The deeper they go. It's like it's infinite. So you can talk about, to a certain extent, what it's like to experience a work of art, but at a certain point, the more you become involved, like I think a great work of art, it breaks down, and you can never fully define that experience.
What would you like an audience to go away with after they see your film Redland?
I would like them to go away with like a cinematic experience. I wanted to convey. I don't want to tell you. You convey. People watch the movie and come up with their own ideas. But what I was definitely trying to convey something about the mystery of life and transcendence of life, and convey it in a uniquely cinematic way.
Just a reminder, you can hear Center Stage live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on KXLU Los Angeles, 88.9 FM. We're also streaming on the internet at kxlu.com. Until next time, this is Mark Gordon, and I'll see you Center Stage.